Hey everyone, it's Nick here from Childcare Business Growth, and I'm super excited to announce today I have the amazing Sindye with me. Now, lots of you will already know Sindye. So, Sindye, thank you so much for joining me. I know we've had a couple of chats about the book, and we haven't long known each other, but I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I already feel quite close to you guys and what you're doing. We have the same kind of values, the same beliefs. So I'm really grateful for you, first of all, writing the chapter in the book, but also now giving up your time to come on the podcast and tell everyone a little bit more, just like a snippet about your book. So do you want to, if you don't mind, just to give maybe some that don't know who you are, give a quick intro to you and your background, if that's okay.
Sure. My name is Sindye Alexander. I've got about 25 years experience in the childcare industry. The majority of those years actually were in-home childcare, where I thought that I was just contributing to my family by taking care of children. And then, when my kids were all old enough to go to school, I thought it was time to get a real job, And so I started working outside the home, and I quickly realized that I was already doing kind of what I was meant to do, and in the industry that I was meant to be in all of those years. I just didn't know it. And so I became really, really focused on creating, a quality preschool program in my home. And then that quickly grew into a center. And then I started getting interested in the business aspects. And I worked with a couple of childcare, coaches and consultants. I work with a local SCORE company, or as it's SCORE it's not a company. It's a nonprofit organization that helps business owners with, free tools and resources, to help you figure out your projections and your business plans and get loans and all kinds of things. It's a great organization. And so I grew from, a small home childcare preschool program, licensed for 12, and I opened my first center, was licensed for 32. And after a couple of years, I was tired of turning away kids. And so I moved across town. I opened a center that was licensed for 120 and quickly filled it. And during that process, I became kind of really passionate about two things. And one was the marketing and the business aspect of growing the center. I learned so much. It was so different than actually caring for the children, which I also loved. But that business aspect and the marketing aspect, I just fell in love with it. And a little fun fact about me, I was the yearbook editor in high school. And I was the only high schooler that had a key to the high school, because I worked on the yearbook and I worked in the dark room, and they would let me come in on evenings and weekends, to work on my projects. I actually had a key.
Wow.
So to me, marketing is kind of like yearbook, journalism, only paired with my favorite, I guess, career path, childcare. It's like just perfect and kismet for me. So I came in love with that. And then also, as I grew my business, I started adding employees. And that was an eye-opener to me, because I spent so much time planning my business, and I thought I was going to hire all of these amazing staff members and pay them more and give them a great professional environment. And we were just going to be sunshine and lollipops and sleepover parties. And I just had no idea that the way that another employee changes the garbage can would impact a different employee so negatively. And so that was like an eye-opening light bulb moment for me, about workplace culture. And so I started studying that. I worked with a coach that really specialized in workplace culture, Julie Barkus, is her name, and she does great stuff. And I learned a lot, and I ended up writing a book about creating a great workplace culture. So that's my I guess entry or history in childcare in a nutshell.
And I love the one you mentioned there, if you don't mind me saying, was about the how one person changing the bin can actually, change the trash, can actually change someone else's perspective, or get them to react negatively, because it's so true, isn't it, really? How all those things impact each other. So your chapter, so just so everyone, so we're talking obviously about childcare, the Childcare Top Tips book. And in the book on page 23 is Sindye's chapter talking about building a positive workplace culture in your childcare center. So what we're going to do, everyone, we're just going to give you a quick snippet. Cindy's going to cover off maybe 4 or 5 points around things taken from her chapter. So, Cindy, I'm going to pass over to you. And I'm really excited because obviously I've read what you've written, but I'm really
Yeah.
excited for you to share what you're going to share with everyone here.
Well, yeah, I did. I did share several tips in the chapter, about creating a positive workplace culture, and they really, really do just scratch the surface. But I think reading it, you'll get a really great foundation, a really good idea of some key points that you need to have in place. In order to have a great workplace culture. And again, this is a short little podcast, so we can only touch on a couple of them. But one thing I really want to hit home on is about taking care of your employees and building relationships with them. They kind of go hand in hand. They're actually, 2 tips in the chapter. But when I talk about taking care of your employees, we're recording this in a kind of a post-COVID world where the great resignation has happened, where quiet quitting is a topic of conversation, where people childcare owners are having a hard time finding qualified staff, finding a warm body, finding anybody to even show up for an interview. So when you find that person that shows up, that takes the job, that comes in for orientation and lasts a couple of weeks, you need to do everything you can to keep them.
Yeah.
Keep that retention. It also helps your bottom line. The longer you keep an employee, it helps your bottom line, and it trickles down into the quality of your program, because children's brains build connections with their caregivers. But okay, that's another subject. You need to keep them, and your employees need to know that you care about them. I do a talk that your employees will never ever care about your business unless they know that you care about them
I
personally.
love that.
So taking care of them means meeting their needs financially, and personally as much as possible. I'm talking about things like, giving them a little bit of leeway in scheduling, making sure that you're paying them well. If you can offer any benefits or perks, and it doesn't have to be full-blown health insurance. It could be they get their birthdays off, or they get a pizza party on their anniversary, or they earn points and can win prizes. I mean, there are all kinds of different ways that you can integrate perks into your program. It's all how you put out that messaging. So you need to let them know that you're taking care of them as much as possible by providing all of these things that meet their needs. And then, build relationships with them. They want to know, they'll feel more personally connected to you and your business if you ask about their kids' Little League game, if you show up when they're in a play, when you have an after hours get together. And it doesn't have to be something you're paying for. It's just you're coordinating. Hey, anyone who wants to go out for, appetizers after work on Friday, we're meeting at Applebee's, or, whatever. You need to find ways to connect with them personally and meet with them, or do some fun activities with them, to let them know that you're invested in them as a person and not just as a means to building your business and your
I
bottom
love that.
line.
I love that.
So
Do you feel people, prior to COVID, prior to, this big shift in the industry around recruitment, do you feel that people were almost, a bit blasé about that aspect around, they thought that it was all around, well, if people want to come work for us, they should be the ones putting in the work? And do you think that's changed at all?
I do think it's changed. It was starting to change prior to COVID, because the childcare industry has a particularly high turnover rate. I think
Yeah.
several caregiving industries do. It was sitting at around 40%, and that's pretty high. And so it was already becoming, known and being brought to the spotlight as an issue. But it was amplified through this COVID situation, because of the fact that people are more picky about the jobs that they choose. They want to be more aligned with the company that they're working for. They want to feel like they're making a difference. And if business owners are not in tune with that trend in the employment realm, I guess, they're going to miss out on some great employees. And the ones that are focusing on building relationships and showing outwardly that they are taking care of their employees. It's snacks in the snack lounge. It's just like really small little things you can do to show that you care. Those employers are going to keep they're going to attract more employees, and they're going to keep them longer.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Sorry to, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because I remember there was a client we started working with, and I was saying, we need to put more effort into the recruitment side. We need to stand out more. They said, well, if someone wants a job, they should be the one putting in the effort. And I just remember thinking, no, we need to have a light bulb moment here and start to realize that, we need to be the ones making that effort. But also, when they're on board, I love the point you made there, that it isn't just about once they've onboarded. We need to make sure then we show them that love and appreciation once they are on board with us.
Yeah. And it really does need to be authentic. I mean, this is something that you need to do, whether you're feeling warm and fuzzy, inside or not. But if you can actually put some of your own personal emotion into it, and you really do care, they're going to feel it. They're going to know, and they're going to end up being more loyal. They're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I heard an analogy one time, about relationships, and it's kind of like a checking account. Like, you can put in a bunch of positive, a bunch of positive, a bunch of positive, and then a couple of negatives come out of your checkbook, but there's still enough positive there that it can hold the relationship. But at a certain point, there becomes a deficit, and they just don't care anymore. The account's closed, and they move on. So it's it's important that you're doing what you can to build a relationship with your team. And if it's not you as the owner, that your director is really gifted at it. Whoever is their supervisor, that's their most important job. The teacher's job is to take care of the kids. The director, the manager, the owner's job is to take care of the employees.
Yeah, totally. Love that. Okay, what's the next one you're going to share with us?
Just to prioritize quality and professionalism in the workplace. A lot of times, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups that have to do with childcare, in-home providers, centers, Head Starts, professional development, or professional organizations. And there is a mindset among a lot of providers that childcare has to be completely, casual. You're in your sweats or your yoga pants, or you're wiping snotty noses and, dealing with bathroom things, diapers and things. And so there is a mindset among some people that it can be really casual. If you want to have a childcare center of excellence, the best one in the community, the one that your not only parents in your community are lining up to come to, but staff are lining up to work for, you need to show that you're a quality center. Those quality type of employees, staff members, teachers, caregivers, however you call them, they do not want to align themselves with the sweatpants wearing, sit on your phone and just monitor the children in the classroom type of centers. They want to be a part of the center that pays extra for professional development, that might be going the extra mile to become accredited, or that might have a partnership with the Head Start program in their school district, or brings in professional development training. They want to be a part of a center that they know they're making a difference at, and that they can feel proud to work at. So putting a focus on quality, best practices, professional development, that is going to aid you in attracting and keeping or retaining great quality staff.
Excellent. So. Okay. Have we got any others you want to share with us as well?
Yeah. So now, if you're lucky enough, and I guess maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I will. If you're lucky enough to have a really, really great team, you need to start letting go of the apron strings and trust and empower your team to make your school or your program the best it can be. Sometimes they might have an idea that you haven't thought of, or they might have a process that works better than what's in your handbook, or they might be super gifted at cultivating parent relationships or putting on an after hours event. Find ways to find the talents that your team has and let them shine, because when they feel like they are contributing and it's their idea and they're making a difference, again, not only does it bring them some personal fulfillment, but it also, it's like this cyclical, I want to keep contributing to this business because they're giving me a place to let what I'm passionate about shine. So trusting and empowering your team will, help with employee retention. It will also help to get some things off your plate and off your director's plate. For instance, there could be a teacher that just really, really loves to organize files at nap time. That could be, I mean, it's a silly little thing, but it could be something that, that little introverted person just really, really loves to do that thing. And it could be, enough to get some things off of your plate and to help that employee feel more empowered at work. And I think the last little tidbit that I will share is that it may sound contrary to public opinion, but you should do your best to facilitate fun and friendships within the workplace. I forget the statistic exactly, but I think it's about 80%.
Okay.
An employee that feels like they have a best friend at work, or some people call it their work wife, or their work BFF, they feel like they have a best friend at work, they're 80% less likely to leave.
Okay.
If they feel like they have a friend, because they don't want to leave their friend hanging. It also helps to boost the energy vibrations in your school, because you're not working with somebody that you're having this contrary relationship with. Like, we've all had that person, that Karen, that person that just gives you the snide eye every time you put the paper towel in the wrong place, or you change the trash can the wrong way, or whatever it is. We've all had that coworker that the second they enter the room, you feel that tension. Yeah. But when you're working with somebody that you feel an affinity with, that you feel that fun vibe, where you can make a joke, or you have a secret handshake, whatever it is, it makes work more enjoyable, and it bonds the staff together, not only together with themselves, but together with your company. So I think that it's really, really important to do whatever you can to facilitate fun and friendships.
Do as you mentioned that one, I could think of 3 or 4 examples of where that's happening right now in our business. And you're right, it's so important where someone feels that, sense of, that friendship and that community, and the willingness to share more things. We've not to go into them, but we've had team members share things recently that I would have, in front of the whole team, that I would never expect people to share. And I think that just goes to show that it isn't just a work colleague. They do feel that they are amongst friends. And I think that, that's really, really important to show. And the greatest respect as well. I think sometimes, having run our own centers for a long time, those environments can be a little bit, dare I say, you can have 1 or 2 people that can maybe, talk about people behind their own back, etc. And things like that happens, So if you can create that, if you can really focus on one of the, fun and friendships as a key element of your business, I think you've got something quite unique, because unfortunately there is a lot of people where there's, talking behind each other's back going on, and, saying things like you said about the trash cans going out, not doing it the right way, and everything else. So guys, just to summarize the 4 points that Cindy's gone through. So make sure you show you care, be really genuine in that one, make sure you've got professional development, that people feel a sense of, career progression, or they know where the business is going. They've got that real progression opportunities. Trust and empower your team. I love that one. And then fun and friendships within the workplace. So, Sindye, I know you've gone into a lot more detail. One of the things I loved about your chapter in the book, when we did the brief for this, Everett, so all of you guys know, we said to everyone, hey, right, who are the experts in these fields? And we went out to each expert and we asked them to give us their top 10 tips. And I remember Sindye coming back to me and saying, I can't limit it to 10. Do you mind if I just add one or two more? And I said, absolutely, because the more value we could pack into the book, the better the book would be for you guys. And, just to reiterate, the reason why we're pushing this book so hard is because we have cut out all the fluff, okay? The whole idea of this book is, I said to everyone, you've literally just got to give us your top 10 tips. And as a result of that, everyone has gone through, they've done that within the book. And of course, all the money, more importantly from this, goes to Operation Underground Railroad. So, Sindye, I want to say a massive thank you, first of all, for you for contributing to the book. You did an amazing pieces in there, well, two amazing pieces. It was just outstanding what you wrote. And also thank you for you to give up your time to come and be with us today as well. I'm extremely grateful for you as always. So any last words of wisdom you want to share with everyone before we jump off?
Well, I'm just so grateful to have been included in the book. I mean, I know a lot of the contributors personally, and some of them are like wish list, I want to meet you people. And I just feel like so honored to be able to be included with this stellar group of experts, not only in childcare, but, in business and in marketing. Because I know some of the contributors didn't come exactly from childcare. So thank you so much. I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And I guess that's it.
No, honestly, Sindye, what you provided to everyone is gold. If you haven't read this yet, guys, I promise you, just that chapter alone, what Sindye's written here is worth the $10 to get your digital copy, or the $20 to go and get your hard copy of the book. That chapter alone, I promise you, is just worth that money. So, Sindye, I want to say a huge thank you from you as always, and hopefully what we'll do is we'll do a meetup. We'll get all you guys together so you can meet everyone face to face, all those contributors to the book as well, sometime in the future. So thank you once again for joining me today.
Thank you.